Hello and welcome. This brief video provides instructions on the peer review process for the 2023 World Federation of Chiropractic Biennial Congress. Experienced researchers and educators were invited to participate in the first round peer review process for the 2023 WFC Biennial Congress. This process is very important and will assure that the scientific portion of the program will be of the highest quality possible. The peer reviewers volunteer their scholarly expertise through the peer review process. Peer review is an important component of this conference. Peer review supports the advancement of chiropractic research and improves the quality of the scientific program. Each of the reviewers agreed to the following terms to be on this committee. Here is a quick review. Each reviewer promised to follow these instructions for the peer review process, review all assigned abstracts and return them by the due date, will not share, discuss, or distribute in any manner the content from the abstracts, will recuse themselves for review of any abstracts if there is a conflict of interest, will provide a fair and unbiased review of the assigned abstracts, and understand that your name will be listed in the proceedings. Before we look at the rating sheet, we must first establish the purpose of peer review for a conference abstract. Although reviewing a manuscript for a journal has similar skills and processes as conference abstract reviews, and they both have rigorous standards for quality and content, there are some notable differences. For manuscript review, the full paper and data are available, whereas with a conference abstract, the information is limited. For manuscript review, there are multiple levels of screening, and the editor may decide that some abstracts are not sent to review, whereas all conference abstracts are sent to peer review. For manuscript reviews, there are rounds of revision until a final decision is reached. For conference abstracts, there is no revision process. For journal manuscripts, the journal editor referees the process and then makes a decision, whereas conference abstract scores are sent to a committee for final decision. For this conference, the primary purpose of rating the abstract submissions is for you to make a recommendation if the abstract should be presented at the conference. We ask that you recommend high-quality abstracts due to limitation of program time and space. Let us take a look at what the grading rubric looks like. You will see in the first three columns the general areas to consider, which are level of evidence and study design, significance of the study to chiropractic knowledge, and rigor of reporting and quality of the work. The final column are the scores you will use for your recommendation. A score of 4 recommends the abstract for a platform presentation. A score of 3 recommends a platform or poster presentation. A score of 2 recommends poster, and a score of 1 recommends rejection. For any abstract in which you have a conflict of interest, recuse yourself by marking X. Here is an example of how this rubric might be used. In this case, the abstract describes a study with the highest level of evidence. The study findings would have a moderate impact on new knowledge, and the reporting was rigorous and the quality of work was excellent. The reviewer scored this abstract with the number 4, indicating a recommendation for platform presentation. In this example, the abstract describes a case report. The study findings would have a small impact on new knowledge, and the reporting was done fairly well. The reviewer scored this abstract with the number 2, indicating a recommendation for poster presentation. In this final example, although the study design was a high level of evidence, such as a randomized control trial, there was no substantial findings reported, and the reporting of the study was poorly done. Therefore, the reviewer scored this abstract with the number 1, indicating a recommendation for rejection. Any rejection recommendation needs to include comments as to why this recommendation was made. Now let's take a look at the rating sheet in which you will review the abstracts and where you will record your rating scores and comments. In the first 3 columns, you will see an identification number, the title, and the abstract. In the 4th column is where you will type the score that you rate the abstract. In the 5th column is where you will type your comments. You may type your comments for any abstract, however, comments are only required for those you score a number 1. In the Excel spreadsheet, the top row will be frozen so that you will continue to see the column headers as you move from abstract to abstract. On the bottom, you will see two tabs. The first tab is the rating sheet, where you will record your scores and comments. The second tab includes the instructions for your convenience. Now let us take a look at some examples of scoring. Here we see that the reviewer provided a score of 4 for the first abstract. The second abstract was scored a 1, and the reviewer typed in the reasons why the committee should reject this abstract. Here is an example of incorrect scoring. In this case, the reviewer did not enter a single number. The score instead should be a single digit that reflects the grading rubric. Numbers typed as text, ranges, or decimals are not acceptable scores. Here is another example of incorrect scoring. In this case, the reviewer scored the abstract as 1, but provided no rationale for this decision. Please remember that all reject scores of 1 must include reasons why the committee should reject this abstract. To wrap up, here are some helpful hints as you complete your reviews. Set aside enough time in advance to do your reviews. Do not wait until the due date. Judge each abstract on its own. Do not compare one to another. Use the rating rubric as a guide. Of course, we cannot be experts in all things. Thus, do not go into topics that are out of your area. Instead, rate the abstract in your area of expertise. And finally, be sure to save your Excel spreadsheet often so you do not lose your work. We thank you for being an important part of the peer review process for this conference. Your work and dedication are very much appreciated.